press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
By the year 2020, a great shift will have occurred in the worldwide balance of economic power. Analysts predict emerging market economies will become some of the most important economic forces. The rising importance of emerging market economies in 2020 will have broad implications for the world's allocation of consumption, investments and environmental resources. Vast consumer markets in the primary emerging market economies will provide domestic and international businesses with many opportunities. Although income per capita will remain the highest in the world's developed economies, the growth rate and per capita income will be much higher in major emerging market nations such as China and India. Mexico. GDP, nominal, $1,283.972 billion. GDP per capita, $9,900. Mexico is a federal republic with 31 states and 1 federal district. The country has a developing market economy with strong links to the U.S. IMF predicts GDP growth rate in Mexico to remain constant of about 3% in 2019. Russia. GDP, nominal, $1,840.856 billion. GDP per capita minus $12,270. Russia's economy is expected to return to growth in 2017, ending 2 years of contraction, amid rising oil prices and a recovery in industrial output. Consumer expenditure is estimated to restore only gradually as real disposable income continues to show weak growth. Inflation slowed down substantially and is forecasted to remain close to the government target of 4%. In the future, GDP growth in Russia is expected to be 2% or higher. Brazil. GDP, nominal, $2,676.272 billion. GDP per capita, $11,730. Since 2010 it was a downward trend of the real GDP growth, a record of low -3.8% in 2015 followed by the close value of -3.4 in 2016. However, World Bank and IMF expect GDP growth going up in coming years up to 2% in 2019 and then becoming stable. France. GDP, nominal, $2,815.343 billion. GDP per capita, $43,100. French GDP growth is expected to pick up in 2017, mainly boosted by investment and foreign demand, while household consumption is likely to slow as the upturn in inflation is set to erode gains in purchasing power. IMF predicts an upward trend in the future for France's economy. UK. GDP, nominal, $2,873.371 billion. GDP per capita, $43,870. UK GDP growth is expected to ease in 2017, mainly due to slower consumer spending as rising inflation squeezes household budget. Still, the unemployment rate is expected to remain close to its equilibrium rate of around 4.5% in the near term, although wage growth is likely to remain low, resulting in falling real wages. Inflation is forecast to peak just below 3% in the fourth quarter of the year. In addition, business investment and exports are likely to be supported by depreciation of the sterling and the expected pickup in global growth. The Bank of England is likely to start raising rates in mid-2018. Germany. GDP, nominal, $3,923.415 billion. GDP per capita $7,200. Germany, the most populous nation in the European Union, possesses one of the largest economies in the world and has seen its role in the international community grow steadily since reunification. International agencies including OECD, IMF, UN, and EC expect no explicit in the near future. India. GDP, nominal, $3,935.267 billion. GDP per capita, $3,500. India recorded the highest growth rates in the mid-2000s, and is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. The growth was led primarily due to a huge increase in the size of the middle-class consumer population. IMF predicted Indian economy will rise beyond 2017. Japan. GDP, nominal, $5,368.188 billion. GDP per capita -$46,200. The World Bank has raised its forecast for Japan's economic growth this year to 1.5%, up 0.6 percentage point from its estimate in January, due to rising exports and a pickup in capital spending in preparation for the 2020 Olympic Games. The 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics and Paralympics will create economic benefits totaling 32.3 trillion yen. $283.50 billion, across Japan. China. GDP, nominal, $17,706.631 billion. GDP per capita, $8,330. The IMF sees China's economy growing by 6.6% in 2016, beating Shanghai officials' target for this year, but slowing each year thereafter until 2021. The exception is 2018 and 2019, with growth of 6.0% seen in each year. US. GDP, nominal, $23,760.331 billion. GDP per capita, $54,800. The future of the US is a challenging one for marketers and retailers of consumer products. Gaining share among population groups that most marketers do not reach today will require shifts in focus, tactics, and products. Morgan Stanley believe the American economy will not only withstand this global turmoil, it may keep growing until at least 2020. That would make the much criticized recovery from the Great Recession the longest U.S. expansion in the post-war period. Economic superpower in 2030. Get ready for a new economic order. The world in 2030, the US will be far less dominant, several emerging markets will catapult into prominence, and some of the largest European economies will be slipping behind. In 30. China's GDP nominally $5,262 billion. USA's GDP nominal, $33,656 billion. India's GDP nominal $10,629 billion. Japan's GDP nominal, $5,094 billion. Germany's GDP nominal, $4,767 billion. UK's GDP nominal $4,691 billion. South Korea's GDP nominal $3,638 billion. Brazil's GDP nominal $3,410 billion. Indonesia's GDP nominal $3,462 billion. Canada's GDP nominal $2,788 billion.
Hope you like our video. Hit the like button. More updates are coming. So, please subscribe us.